Hello everyone, so happy to have you here again. Today I'm doing a much needed closet edit and reorganization of my wardrobe. I'll be showing you exactly how I curate my closet in preparation for a new season and how I maintain my minimalist-ish wardrobe without feeling bored, but also without feeling too overwhelmed. Because your closet can affect your mood just as much as wearing a good or a bad outfit can. Which is why I think keeping an organized closet is so important. If there's too much in the way, then I think it becomes a lot harder to see what you actually have, and that's when you get that whole closet full of clothes and nothing to wear feeling. And not to mention, that's when you start feeling like you need to buy even more to solve it. Believe me, as a former shopaholic and clothing hoarder, I've been there. Don't get me wrong, I still love to buy clothes, but nowadays I let them in much more slowly and I try to buy pieces that will stay in my wardrobe for as long as possible. Because at the end of the day, I want to see the most value for my time and my money. I really don't think decluttering should be used as an excuse to create space just so you can buy more to fill it back up again. But I do like to think of decluttering as a maintenance tool. Because life is dynamic and so are the things that come into it. We accept things as gifts, we may buy one too many things, the one in, one out rule may get away from us, or that thing you just thought you had to have, you didn't really end up wearing. And let's just be real here. That happens. And that's exactly why I feel like I need to declutter today. I actually don't think I'm going to be getting rid of too many things. That's not the point. I don't want to get rid of things for the sake of just getting rid of them, but they do feel like they are starting to get in the way of the wardrobe that I'm actually wearing and that I actually enjoy. Plus, with spring around the corner, it's a perfect time to get prepared for the new season. So let's get into it. If you've been following my channel for a while, then you know I've done a ton of declutters, and my motivation behind each declutter was a little bit different every time. In the past, when I was a full-blown shopaholic and I owned way too many things / just had no idea what I actually liked, what I actually wore, and even just knowing what my personal style authentically was to me, I had to use decluttering back then as a tool to create space just so I could see what remained more clearly. Nowadays, after I've really sort of curated my personal style, I've gotten rid of what's in the way, I really know what it is I like, and more importantly, I know what it is I'm actually wearing. So that's how I like to use decluttering nowadays. It's more of a maintenance tool to make sure that my space doesn't just get overwhelming and filled back up again with junk that I don't use and that really just gets in the way. So the things I really look out for nowadays when I declutter is, do I actually wear this? And when I do wear it, do I feel good in it? So these are the pieces that I know I have tried to wear. They're the pieces that survived previous declutters because I just wasn't ready to let them go for whatever reason. All those just in cases really got a hold of me and they stayed. And then there's pieces that are either too worn out or damaged to keep. If you're more of a beginner when it comes to decluttering and you're in that overwhelm stage rather than the curation and maintenance stage, I have a ton of videos on my channel that will help you, so I'll make sure to leave some down below that you can watch after this. But for me, I really only predict that I'm going to be getting rid of a few select pieces, so I'll share what those are and why. A lot of these pieces are going to be in good enough shape for me to sell on my Poshmark, so I'll make sure to leave all of that down below if you're interested. So with this declutter, I'm gonna go through it a little bit differently. I'm not gonna pull out everything from my wardrobe and just go through piece by piece. That's not really what I'm aiming to do here. What I'm actually gonna do instead is pull out the pieces that I never wear and think about why that might be. And then I'm going to assess if it's time for them to go or if they simply just need to live in storage for a little while. But you know, before we actually get into it, I just need to make sure I'm hydrated. 1 second. And that's where I'd like to thank the sponsor of today's video, AG1. If you've been watching my channel for a while, then you know that I have been a fan of AG1 since I started drinking it back in 2020. And leaving thirst aside, it has truly become an integral part of my daily health routine. I just drink it once a day in the morning on an empty stomach before I've had any other coffee, my breakfast, and it leaves me good to go. Since I've started it, I've really noticed a difference in my energy levels. I feel a lot more even keel throughout the day with way less caffeine cravings and energy crashes. And it's just a way for me to make sure I'm getting all the vitamins that I need every day. I really like that it's a simple once a day serving and it actually tastes good. A lot of other green drinks I've had before taste really sort of gritty and earthy. This one has almost like a vanilla flavor to it. And if you're not sure about it, you can also add it to things like your morning smoothie. The AG1 supplement contains 75 vitamins, probiotics, and superfoods, all in one daily serving to help support your focus, energy, gut health, and digestion without the need to take a bunch of different pills or supplements a bunch of times a day. It's also dairy-free, gluten-free, dairy-free, nut-free, and it doesn't contain eggs, sugar, or GMOs. It's just a really easy and tasty way to make sure you're getting everything you need. And if you're interested in getting started yourself to support your daily health routine, you can scan this QR code right here to get 5 free travel packs and a year's supply of their vitamin D K2 drops with your first purchase. Your support of the brands that I work with supports me so I can keep making these videos. So if you try it out, thank you. And thanks AG1. All right, let's get back into the video. Okay, so I've gone through some of these pieces, including my coats and my jackets. There were pieces that when I just sort of pulled out of the drawer or the hanger, it was kind of an immediate like, yes, I'm not wearing this, or I know I don't wear this because it feels too bulky or because it feels too big, or I always take it off whenever I put it on. So these are just pieces that I want to reevaluate and either put on the chopping block, get rid of, finally say goodbye, or kind of think about ways to style them because some of them are more spring and summer appropriate. So I feel like I could give them one more chance and just see how it goes. So let's get into some pieces. This first piece that I'm going to get rid of, I'm kind of sad, and it was like kind of a bummer purchase for me because I was really excited about this when I bought it. So this is a sheer top from Dish. They're an Australian brand that has some really beautiful sort of elevated basics and really, really great for summer pieces and summer linen. So this top I bought to incorporate more texture into my wardrobe. It's really cool because it has this like ribbed pattern to it, but it's also sheer. So if you wore something darker underneath, like a lacy bra, which was kind of my intent when I bought it, to be a little bit, kind of give the illusion of skin, but not really. That was the whole point. And texture is a great tool to bring in a lot of dimension and depth into your wardrobe, especially when you either dress very colorfully or even very monochrome. I go more in depth into this technique in this video, all about how to start utilizing color in your wardrobe and how to wear it. But texture is such an amazing tool to just have an outfit that would feel otherwise very flat and basic, just feel a little bit more considered and just give it some depth. And this top has everything I love. It's a long sleeve, it's kind of bodycon, it's a crew neck, which is my favorite. And because it is fairly body hugging, it's a really nice way to bring in a more slim element because I do like to wear a lot of oversized pieces. But oh my God, it's so itchy. It's not comfortable to wear at all. But this is made of 65% viscose and 35% nylon. So viscose is a little bit more breathable, but I still find I just like sweat so badly in this. And this is also just kind of like a sensory nightmare for me because it's not soft. It's got like a very sort of rough texture to it, which makes it really uncomfortable to wear. And I'm just kind of like in my body in a way that I don't want to feel when I have this on. Otherwise, I really love it. Otherwise, it's a great styling tool. And that's why I'm going to sell her. This is a bodysuit from Aritzia that I am going to also be selling. This is from the Aritzia Babaton line. It's their contour bodysuit. I love the contour line from Aritzia. I have so many different bodysuits in that line. The fabric is just really flattering, really comfortable. It kind of just like sucks you in all the right places, and it doesn't highlight things that don't want to be highlighted. It's just really, really flattering. But this one I find I don't really reach for a couple of reasons. One I've learned is because of this ultra square neckline. So I recently had my body analyzed by Ellie Jean Royden of Body and Style. If you want to see that video, you can check it out right here. So in the Kibbe system, she categorized me as a dramatic, which is so fun for me. And in her matrix system, she's categorized me as a narrow, long, and straight body type. So when it comes to sort of my upper body, she told me that things that are kind of straight across and close to the neck, like a crew neck or like an Oxford collar, work really well with my sort of frame and stature. And she actually told me that a square neckline like this doesn't really do much for me. And I kind of agree. Whenever I wear this, I don't know, I feel maybe a little bit too exposed. And I do feel like it makes me look a little bit wider than I am because I've also built a lot of muscle in my upper body and I don't really have big boobs either. I feel like that ultra square neckline just kind of makes me look a little even more broad and more flat in my chest area than I generally want to. Not that I feel like I need my boobs to look bigger or anything when I get dressed. The other thing too is that I feel like the crotch rides up in these. It doesn't so much in my other contour bodysuits, but in this one I find I have to like unbutton it pretty soon after putting it on. So I feel like the torso is just a little bit too short for what me and my vagine need to be comfortable. Otherwise, this is in beautiful shape and I love the contour line, love the contour bodysuits. It's just this neckline that I feel like doesn't really work for me and I always take it off whenever I put it on. So I'm going to sew. This is another tank top from Aritzia that I just find myself not reaching for, very similar to the reason why I'm going to be decluttering the dish top. This is from Aritzia's Sculpt line, so it's this really like tight-fitting, nicely contouring top in this more ribbed material, which I love. It's very flattering. I get like indents in my skin when I wear this, so this is like a ribbed kind of fabric that's really stretchy, and again, I just find it to feel a little bit itchy, and I just have like an awareness that something's on my body when I wear this. It's just really not comfortable to wear for me, and overall I prefer the contour material, that more stretchy kind of nylon material, than this Sculpt material. And because you might think it's like it's a perfectly basic top, it totally goes with my style, it's something that I would absolutely wear, but the key here to all of that, like you can have all these great reasons to keep something and it aligns with your style and all of that stuff, but the key here is that I'm not wearing it, and when I do wear it, it just doesn't feel good to wear, and that's just not what I want taking up space in my wardrobe. The next thing I'm going to be decluttering is this amazing men's leather bomber jacket. It's in this beautiful chocolate brown, and I bought it from a friend of mine who does sourcing for thrifting. I was looking for a oversized men's brown leather bomber that I could wear in the colder months, in the winter, but this one I just find it's just too big. Let me know what you think. But I just feel like it always looks a little bit too big for me, a little bit too overwhelming, and I end up kind of taking it off even after I put it on. See, I just think it's just too big. It's quite warm actually. This is insulated. There's some business going on in here. So I would say this is more of actually like a winter jacket or late fall winter jacket. And the other thing is like I got this because I was trying to find a dupe for the Tibby jacket that I ended up finally getting on sale. That's kind of one thing I also stopped doing, is if there's something that I really, really want, I just wait to be able to buy the actual thing that I want, instead of like wasting time and money and creating more clutter for myself that I have to declutter later, searching for dupes that I never ultimately feel fully satisfied with. Now that I have the Tibby jacket, I really don't need this one. It's cool. So this one's going to be going up on my Poshmark. One piece that I'm going to be giving another chance, this one's going to be staying in my wardrobe, and it's something that I'm going to challenge myself to style, especially as the warmer weather comes along. And that's this A-line pencil skirt, maxi skirt from COS. I bought it 1 or 2 summers ago because I wanted to lean more into skirts. I do have a few now in my wardrobe, and I just really like, I still keep gravitating towards that kind of like easy breezy feminine look in the summer. That kind of might be a bit of a fantasy self thing, but at the same time, it is part of a fantasy self that I want to kind of lean into and embrace a little bit. I can totally see this with like a bodysuit or a tank top like this for a more slim element. This can be your easy, bigger element, and then I could pair it with like some Birkenstocks, have like a basket bag or a tote bag, and I'm good to go for like a coffee in the morning or going somewhere really adorable like a farmer's market. And I find this does fit my 3 words. It's not like a total outlier. So my 3 words that I'm leaning into right now are minimal, sporty, and sharp. This definitely hits the minimal part. It's a little bit more flowy to be described as sharp, but at the same time it has this like really cool slit in it. It's a very simple A-line, so there's not like too much poof, too much going on with this, and it's just very easy to wear very minimally and even be able to like dress it down with something more sporty like a sneaker. So I think I'm going to challenge myself to wear this a little bit more. It's something that I didn't really get a good cost per wear out of so far, and I want to see if I can change that, so I'm going to hold on to this. But something from COS that I am going to be decluttering and selling is this Oxford button-up shirt, and it's simply because it's too big. There was a time when I would shop for oversized things by simply sizing up in them instead of purchasing my true size, but in a garment that was engineered to be oversized. That's the kind of best way, in my opinion, not in all cases, but in most cases, that you can achieve that sort of oversized, really relaxed, chill vibe if you want that. Because if you size up like 2 or 3 sizes from your usual, sometimes it just looks like you've sized up 2 or 3 sizes from your usual, and it's not really the vibe that you want. I have played around with the idea of big slim skin with this top, which is a tool that you can use if you feel out of balance, where if you have a big element, you pair it with a slim element, like for example, a tank top, a slimmer shoe, a slimmer pant, a slimmer skirt, something more slim to balance it out, and then you show some skin. So like immediately by doing that, this top just feels a lot less overwhelming, right? But I still feel like it's too much. Like look at the size of the collar, it's huge. And like the shoulder is pretty dropped here for me, and I'm learning that I kind of like things to feel a little bit sharper here. And there's just a lot of volume back here too. So tucking it in is pretty difficult. I have worn this as like basically a top in the summer, but it just still feels a little bit big. And I have other blue button-ups, like I have my button-up from Jerf Avenue that I wear. I have some white ones. And actually it's kind of funny, like I've used this top a lot to demonstrate like the wrong outfit or when an outfit isn't working because it's so huge. It's a beautiful shirt. Cost has amazing quality, but I think I need to size down at least like 1 or 2 sizes for this shirt to really work. So I'm gonna be selling it because it's not really getting use in my wardrobe unless I'm filming a video, and I wanna be able to wear my clothes outside of filming videos, you know? This is a bralette that I am going to just be decluttering. It's really cool and cute. It's like this sheer mesh bralette. Has a really nice kind of shape to it. And I wore it a lot with that dish top because this is kind of like the fanciest bra that I own. I think this is from Parade. Again, it just doesn't feel good on my skin. It kind of feels itchy. Half the time I don't even wear bras. So yeah, no. This is something that I'm going to be keeping and styling, but it is something that I kind of never wear. Like if you put it in a pile of your regular frequent flyer pieces in your wardrobe versus the pieces that you really like but never really wear, it is this for me. I did have a closet styling session with Allison Bornstein, which is going to be up on my channel really soon, so make sure you're subscribed. And I'm going to have our full interview available on my Patreon, which I launched recently. So if you guys want to see more exclusive content, interviews, behind the scenes, and a once a month Ask Me Anything podcast and video, if you want to ask me questions, all of that is going to be available on my Patreon, so you can definitely check that out down below. But she ended up giving me a ton of really fun ideas to style this piece. And the thing I find is like with cardigans, I find I have this like librarian association with them.
I am proud of what I am.
And what is that?
I am a librarian.
But I do want to give this piece another chance. The color is great. It's beautiful. Sometimes I find it's a little bit challenging to style, which is why I think I kind of bypass it quite a lot, but I'm going to put this in the style it pile for sure. Why would you get rid of this? I know so many of you are going to be mad at me for this. This is an 100% cashmere top from Reformation that I bought when everybody was wearing stripes. I think I bought this like 3 or 4 years ago now. It's really nice. It's beautiful. It's a very, very thin, lightweight cashmere, but kind of like it keeps its shape when you stretch it. Let's drape it over the shoulders. Cute, comfy, like we love. Add a little texture, dimension. But baby, I do not wear this. I think for a couple of reasons. One, I don't really like the neckline. It's a crew neck, sure, but I prefer in general a much tighter neckline. I also don't love how it doesn't really have structure at the bottom, so the bottom hem kind of rolls up a little bit. I don't wear stripes. It's like this French girl fantasy that I had for years. Also, I don't really do this. And I reach for my Uncle Studio's cashmere quite a lot more. It's just a reality. I grab for it much more. And then I also now have this vintage Hudson's Bay cashmere sweater that I thrifted off of Poshmark for like 20 bucks. I feel like the color works better on me. I like the color better. So I'm gonna sell this. This one is a maybe. I mean, we're not really in the season for it. So I feel like if you're not quite in the season, then don't declutter it, because I think you want to wait and see if you'll actually wear something when you're in the actual season. I find it's a lot easier to declutter things when it's out of season, but then by the time the season rolls around, you're going to be like, I actually wanted that. So this is a Poshmark find. This is actually a failed Poshmark from my sister. So my sister got this off of Poshmark. She felt like it was too oversized for her. And I was like, great, because I love oversized. I'll take it. So she passed it down to me. So this is a secondhand Aritzia Babaton teddy jacket, beautifully lined. So it has a nice, like, I think it's a viscose rayon liner, so very, very soft. It's a majority polyester because it's like the teddy material. It's not real shearling, but it does have some wool in it. So it's actually warmer than I thought, but it's big, okay? Like it's really bulky. And I think that's why I kind of don't reach for it. I almost feel like my arms are out here, but really they're here. When I wear this, I feel like a mob wife in this, you know? But I'm gonna put this into storage and I'm gonna see if I'm excited to see it next winter when things start to get pretty cold. But if not, then she will go back onto Poshmark where she came from. And then finally, it's my Durf Avenue blazer. Oh, you know what? I actually really like this blazer, but the thing is like, I have a lot of black blazers now. I have a lot. I have my Aritzia one. I have my Jean Paul Gaultier one that's more of like an hourglass, really cool sculptural shape. I have my secondhand Acme Studios one. So it's just like, I bought this blazer a few years ago when Durf Avenue was really having its explosion. And if you like oversized, she has nailed it. She has absolutely nailed it. Great fit, really cool. This is a size small. I think I probably could have done better with an extra small, to be honest, and still get that nice oversized fit. The problem with this is that it's an 100% polyester blazer. It's recycled polyester. Bonus, great, but holy do I sweat in this. Like, it feels like a blazer that you should wear in the spring and summer. It's really lightweight. I'm already starting to sweat in it. That's the problem. It's not breathable, okay? It's not. Yeah, I have a friend that I think would really like this, so I'm going to see if she'll like it, try it on, pass it on to her, and if not, then I'm going to sell it. And then the final thing I'm going to be decluttering, only because I'm going to replace it, is this t-shirt from COS. Simply because upper body gains, it's too small. So if something doesn't fit, that's it. I'm not gonna fight my way to get back into it if it's too small. And if it's like too much of a job to get tailored, if it's too big, then it's also something that I'm like okay with getting rid of. So this actually is the best t-shirt. I did a video on who makes the best white t-shirt. Yeah, I will leave it linked right here for you. I hope I'm pointing to the right place. I'll leave it linked. This, out of all of them, I've had all of those t-shirts for over a year. Some I did declutter because they didn't fit anymore. Some I stained and now they are a hair towel. But if you want a refined, elevated, clean looking t-shirt that is not too sheer, that holds its shape, that has a nice thick high collar that isn't going to get all warpy and weird and bend on you, this clean cut t-shirt from COS is the one. It's around $40 Canadian, which is probably the highest I'd want to pay for a t-shirt, to be honest, but it feels really luxe and it lasts. I have washed this on hot, I have tumble dried this. The only thing I find is that it shrunk up ever so slightly, but not too much. And nowadays I would be a size small instead of an extra small, because I just find up here now on the shoulders it just feels a bit too tight and it's a little bit too cropped on me now because of the way it shrunk up and everything. But other than that, it has really held its shape. It has not yellowed. So if you want a t-shirt that's gonna last, it is this one, and I'm going to repurchase it in a size small. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I only decluttered one bag of clothes, and it's not even that much because that leather jacket is just really bulky and it took up a lot of space. It's not a lot that I'm getting rid of, but I have created some space, and what I do feel nice and light about is just like, I'm not fighting with these pieces anymore. They're pieces that kind of aren't really like bullying me into feeling like, oh, you don't wear me enough, or like, oh, bypassing me again. Like, there's bully pieces in your wardrobe sometimes that do that, and we don't have time for that. If you feel that way, get rid of them, sell them, donate them, pass them on to somebody. Do it sustainably, do it mindfully so that it just doesn't end up in a landfill. And now I also have some pieces that I'm going to be either repurposing, putting into storage, or restyling for later. So in a way, this is also a nice exercise to just audit your things and kind of start dreaming and imagining of how you're going to be styling some of these pieces, giving them a chance, and having some fun with them. So let me know if you're planning on decluttering this season. Let me know if you agree with what I'm keeping versus getting rid of. Leave me a comment down below. Thank you so much again to HE1 for sponsoring today's video. Kept me nice and hydrated throughout this. If you want to give them a try yourself, you can get 5 free travel packs and a year supply of their vitamin D K2 drops with your first purchase. I'll leave it all linked down below. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe. Check out my Patreon if you want more, and I'll see you next Sunday. Bye.